The cinereous vulture is one of the largest raptors in Georgia. It can cover hundreds of kilometers a day in search of food. At this moment, it is observing the carcass of a dead goat from afar. But it doesn't rush the scent as it is cautious. First, others must feast. The jackal was the first to find the carcass, and even though raptors are in the majority, it is not going to give up dinner. After a few skirmishes, the jackal goes away. Meanwhile, griffon vultures and cinereous vultures keep on feasting. Soon there will be nothing left of the carcass. For the inhabitants of Chachuna Nature Reserve, ruthless confrontation over food is a daily custom. The Eora Plateau is scarce on water. Life flourishes here after brief spring rains before the sun dries everything out. However, during the dry season, the Eora River remains the only source of water here. Floodplain forest accompanies the river along its entire length. Where the moisture is in abundance, true jungles emerge. Meanwhile, in places where the Eora River does not reach, the forest is replaced by steppes and loamy soil. The river provides shelter and water for many species throughout this area. With the bid to use Eora water for irrigation, the Dolly Reservoir was built in the 1980s in the territory of the reserve. Chachuna's biodiversity was jeopardized. The steppes were threatened to be replaced by monoculture plantations and to be covered by irrigation canals. The collapse of the Soviet Union put a stop to this plan. The Dolly Reservoir has never served its original purpose. However, it continues bringing harm to the reserve to this day. It traps materials such as silt and sand, vital for the formation of the seabed and banks of the Eora River. Water filtered from the sediment continues its journey, washing and deepening the riverbed. With a narrow and deep channel, the Eora can no longer moisten the banks, and the floodplain forest, left without water, becomes even narrower. The Dolly Reservoir also prevents the floodplain forests from seasonal flooding. The riverbanks dry up and forest plants are replaced by the species of the steppes. The irrigation plan has not been completely abandoned. The only difference is that nowadays, drip irrigation systems are used instead of concrete canals. In the surrounding area, the number of olive and other plantations increases year by year. Monocultural plants dominate the habitats of native species. For the existence of the steppe fauna, a rich flora is necessary, which is gradually being replaced by olive trees. From time immemorial, shepherds have been using the steppes of the Eora Plateau for grazing. From autumn to spring, tens of thousands of sheep graze the grass here tirelessly. Because of the dramatic increase in sheep numbers in recent years and their irregular grazing, the grass struggles to regenerate. Where grazing is particularly intense, the grass is destroyed. The top layer of soil is exposed, washed down by rains, and carried away by the winds in the form of sand and dust. As a result, a desert of gravel remains and shepherds are forced to search new pastures. The lack of grass increases the expense of sheep keeping. For thousands of years, the Eora River, floodplain forest, and steppes have been a safe haven for its inhabitants. Not so long ago, gazelles, hyenas, and even leopards could still be found here. All three species have fallen victim to the loss of habitat caused by human interference. Now, other species are threatened with extinction. We have little time left to save the already impoverished ecosystem of the Chachuna Reserve. Seasonal flooding of the floodplain forests, choosing a location for plantations wisely, protecting steppes from overgrazing, and by doing so restoring the natural balance is crucial for saving this environment. If we fail to do so, floodplain forests will become even narrower, pastures will be depleted, soils will degrade, and many other species will share the same fate as the goitered gazelle, which was once common here.